Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Let's start with Mangalacharan. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvatamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay, so today we'll have, usually like I say, after we do our japa, which is equivalent to Shravanam and Kirtanam, because you chant and you hear, and then we do Vandanam, which is offering prayers. And actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says if you do chanting, Nam Sankirtan is equivalent to all the Navada Bhakti. Navavida Bhakti Purna Nam Haite Hai. So when we take the names, holy names of the Lord, actually we are fulfilling all the 9 limbs of bhakti that Prahlad Maharaj gave. But as to obtain grace and mercy of Acharyas, we recite these wonderful prayers that they have given us so mercifully for all of us to purify ourselves. So today, on the auspicious week of Sri Radha Ashtami, so we will sing this wonderful Radhika Ashtakam composed by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. So let me post the link in the chat and let's sing this beautiful bhajan, Sri Radhika Ashtakam. कुङ्कुमाप्त कञ्चनाब्ज गर्वहारि गौरभा पीतनाञ्चिताब्ज गन्धकीर्ति निन्दिशौरभा पल्लवेषु सूनु सर्ववाञ्छितार्थ साधिका मह्यमात्मपाद पद्मदास्य दास्तु राधिका गौरविन्दकान्ति निन्दि चित्रपट्टशाटिका कृष्णमत्तभृङ्गकेलि फुल्लपुष्पवाटिका कृष्ण नित्यसङ्गमार्थ पद्मबन्धुराधिका मह्यमात्मपाद पद्मदास्य दास्तु राधिका सौकुमार्य सृष्टपल्लवालि कीर्ति निग्रहा चन्द्रचन्दनोत्पलेन्दु सेव्य शीतविग्रह स्वाभिमर्श बल्लवीश कामतापबाधिका मह्यमात्मपाद पद्मदास्य दास्तु राधिका विश्ववन्द्य यौवताभिवन्दितापि या रमा रूपनव्ययौवनादि सम्पदानयत्समा शीलहार्दलीलया च सायतोऽस्ति नाधिका मह्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका रासलास्य गीतनर्म सत्कलालि पण्डिता प्रेम रम्य रूपवेश सद्गुणालि मण्डिता विश्वनव्य गोपयोष आलितोऽपि याधिका मह्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका नित्यनव्य रूपकेलि कृष्ण भाव संपदा कृष्ण रागबन्ध गोप यावतेषु कंपदा कृष्णरूपवेशकेलि लग्न सत्समाधिका मह्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका स्वेदकम्पकण्टकाश्रु गद्गदादि सञ्चिता मर्षहर्षवामतादि भावभूषणाञ्चिता कृष्णनेत्रतोषिरत्न मण्डनालिदाधिका मह्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका या क्षणार्ध कृष्ण विप्रयोग संततोदिता नेकदैन्यशापलादि भाववृन्दमोदिता यत्नलब्ध कृष्ण संग निर्गताखिलाधिका मह्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका अष्टकेन यस्त्वनेन नौति कृष्णवल्लभां दर्शनेऽपि शैलजादि योषिदालि दुर्लभां कृष्णसङ्गनन्दितात्मदास्य सेदुभाजनं तां करोति नन्दितालि सञ्चयाशु साजनं मह्यमात्मपादपद्मदास्य दास्तु राधिका मह्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री राधिकाष्टकम की जय। श्रीला कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, anybody would like to read the translation?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Suchita Mataji. Thank you.
Translation. Her splendorous golden complexion steals the pride of a golden lotus flower anointed with a tinge of red kumkum, vermilion. Her sweet fragrance mocks the fame of the aroma of a lotus flower sprinkled with saffron powder. She is fully qualified to fulfill all the desires of the son of the king of the cowherd men. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. Her amazing and colorful silken garments make the splendor of red coral feel ashamed. She is a garden of blossoming flowers where the maddened bumblebee named Krishna performs amorous pastimes. She worships the sun god daily in order to attain the continual association of her beloved Krishna. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. Her charming youthful delicacy negates the fame of the freshly sprouted leaves. Her refreshing form is worthy of being served by the cooling moon. Sandalwood paste, lotus flowers, and camphor. Excuse me. When she touches the master of the gopis, she dispels the burning heat of his lusty desires. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. Although the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, is adored by other youthful goddesses who are themselves glorified throughout the universe, still she is nowhere near Sri Radhika in the matter of beauty, praiseworthy youthfulness, or other divine feminine opulences. There is no one in the material or the spiritual worlds that is superior to Radhika in the expression of naturally loving pastimes. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. She is very learned in many transcendental arts, such as performing in the rasa dance, singing, and joking. She is decorated with many divine qualities, such as loving nature, exquisite beauty, and wonderful garments and ornaments. Even among the cowherd damsels of Raja, who are praised by the entire universe, she is the best in every way. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. She possesses the opulences of eternal youthful beauty, eternal pastimes, and eternal love for Krishna. Her ecstatic feelings of love for Krishna cause the gopis who are also in love with Krishna to tremble. She is always attached to meditating on Sri Krishna's beautiful form, ornaments, garments, and pastimes. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. She is graced with 8 ecstatic symptoms, Satvika Bhava, such as trembling, perspiring, standing upon bodily hairs, tears, faltering of the voice, and so forth. She is adorned with different ecstatic emotional ornaments such as impatience, joy, contrariness, and so forth. She is decorated with beautiful jewels that give total delight to the eyes of Krishna. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. If she is apart from Krishna for even half a moment, she becomes stricken with wretched suffering, restlessness, and a multitude of other ecstatic symptoms of separation. When she regains the association of Krishna after some effort, then all of her anguish immediately vanishes. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. It is very difficult for Parvati and other exalted goddesses to attain even a glimpse of Srimati Radharani, who is dear to Lord Krishna. But if someone glorifies her by reciting these 8 verses, then she who is delighted by Krishna's continuous association will grant the sweet nectar of her personal service to that person, who thereby enters the assembly of her similarly delighted girlfriends. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Suchita Mataji. Wonderful. Yes, so may Sri Radhika bestow upon us the opportunity that we can serve the divine couple in Vraja. Yes, and very nicely, Srila Prabhupada has done the same. And we get the service not directly by approaching Radha and Krishna, but by the blessings and mercy of our Guru Maharaja, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, and all the predecessor acharyas. So that's why when we sing these prayers, we are able to invoke a drop of their mercy. And this is what Srila Prabhupada is doing in Prabhupada Leelamrita as well. As we read yesterday, Prabhupada has brought Shri Radha and Krishna all the way from Bombay, Pandal, where he organized the Pandal program, through Malaysia and now to Sydney, Australia. So that is the mercy that on this auspicious week of the Radha Ashtami, Prabhupada has brought Shri Radha Krishna, and they yesterday did a wonderful bathing. Did a Abhishekam and the installation ceremony of Shri Radha Krishna, and they've named them Shri Radha Gopinath Ki Jai in Sydney. And we also saw Prabhupada how nicely since he has brought the deities now, we need brahmanas to worship the deities. So again, there's no qualification of any of these devotees in Sydney. When Prabhupada came, he saw the carpet was very, very dirty. The place was very, dirty. The backside there was trash, right? So, but again, as a pure devotee, he is able to bestow his mercy. So even though none of these people are qualified, some people had just joined 1 week, as Mataji was reflecting, but in 1 week, Prabhupada gave many of them first initiation, some of them he gave second initiation, some of them he gave both first and second initiation together. Now, what does that say? That says that when a pure devotee of the Lord who's empowered, Acharya, and he decides to do something, Krishna puts all his energies behind him, right? So even though we have no qualification, but when a guru, out of his causeless, compassionate mercy, decides to bestow that mercy upon us, then the mercy of Shri Radha and Shri Krishna also comes along with that. So that is how, Prabhupada is setting the scene now in Sydney. And he also went to the school in Sydney where he's teaching little kids to chant, and how, jokingly and coaxingly he was telling them, there's just 3 words, Hare, Krishna, and Radha. Can't you chant those 3 words? So nicely. Yesterday we were reading in Hindi, and I didn't realize Prabhupada was saying Hare, Hare, and in the Hindi, when I did the Google Translate, was showing the kids were saying Khargosh, Khargosh. So I was saying, are they really saying Khargosh? And then I realized, okay, in English, yesterday they had Hare. So Prabhupada was saying Hare, Hare. So it was properly translated as Hare. But the kids were saying Hare or Hare maybe. So it was translating as Khargosh, Khargosh. So that was funny. But yeah, so Prabhupada is teaching the little kids, just like His Grace Antadvi Prabhu is here by the mercy of Radhanath Swami Maharaj and Radhesham Prabhu to take up the youth preaching. So Prabhupada also said the same thing yesterday, that we should teach. He was telling all these teachers that we should teach these kids in schools and colleges. And he was telling them, and that at their level, he was showing them what is consciousness. Because one kid was saying, oh, it's all unconscious mind, and we have to self-realize through the unconscious mind. Prabhupada said, to realize unconsciousness, you have to first know what is consciousness. And it tells them the example, if I pinch my body, if I pinch your body, we only feel the sensation in our bodies. But there is one super Paramatma who is able to feel everybody's sensation, right? And he's there, he's all pervading everywhere. So nice examples Prabhupada is giving to kids at their own level to understand what is God consciousness, who we are, what our relationship with God is. Okay, so let's continue. Prabhupada also agreed to speak at Wayside Chapel, a center in downtown Sydney, ministering to drug addicts and prostitutes. A Wayside sponsor met Prabhupada at the temple and accompanied him to the chapel. The sponsor, a long-haired young man in the hippie dress, boasted of how Wayside Chapel helped drug addicts. Prabhupada, however, took it that he was saying the chapel supplied drugs to the addicts. At Wayside Chapel, a skeptic in the audience challenged Prabhupada. Prabhupada had explained that the chanting of the holy names of God was the only way to actually help people, but the cynic challenged, what good actually is this chanting of Hare Krishna? It saves you from death, Prabhupada answered forcibly. May 12, 1971. In the quarters in Sydney, Prabhupada wrote the preface to the upcoming edition of Bhagavad Gita as it is. The Macmillan Company had now agreed to print the unabridged manuscript. The contract was signed. The book was being readied for printing. Only the preface remained to be written. Prabhupada wrote in his preface that although he was known for starting the Krishna consciousness movement in America, actually the original father of this movement is Lord Krishna himself, giving all credit for his own achievements to his spiritual master. Prabhupada said that the only qualification he himself had was that he had tried to present Bhagavad Gita as it is, without adulteration. Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he, a person, has to satisfy the senses of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. Lord wants this and he demands it. One has to understand the central point of Bhagavad Gita. Our Krishna consciousness movement is teaching the whole world the central point. And because we are not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita as it is, anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying the Bhagavad Gita must take help from the Krishna consciousness movement for practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under the direct guidance of the Lord. We hope, therefore, that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. As Prabhupada explained in his preface, he was publishing the full Gita manuscript to establish the Krishna consciousness movement more soundly and progressively. He would do this by presenting transcendental literature like Bhagavad Gita. But he would also have to go, as Lord Chaitanya has said, to every town and village, either personally or through his agents, his disciples. And wherever he went, he would preach Bhagavad Gita to whoever would listen. Tomorrow, Prabhupada would leave Australia for a big Pandal festival in Calcutta. Then on to Moscow, Paris, Los Angeles. Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita that no servant is more dear to him than one who teaches Bhagavad Gita to the devotees. And Prabhupada, in all his activities, whether writing a preface, lecturing to the prostitutes and drug addicts, teaching a disciple to cook chapatis without burning them, or planning grand projects yet to come, was always teaching Bhagavad Gita and therefore was always the dearest servant of Lord Sri Krishna. Prabhupada stood before the deities of Sri Radha Gopinath with folded hands. After less than a week in Sydney, he was leaving. He knew that the devotees here were not up to the standard required for worshipping Radha and Krishna, and he knew he was taking a risk entrusting their worship to the neophyte disciples. Yet, as an empowered Acharya and as the representative of Lord Chaitanya, he had to implant Krishna consciousness anywhere it might take root. The world was in desperate need. If his disciples followed the process he had given them, chanting, hearing, observing regulative principles, he knew they would quickly become purified. He had given an analogy. Although in material world, a man must first become a highly qualified lawyer before sitting on the judge's bench, in Krishna consciousness, a sincere devotee is first allowed to sit on the bench to become a Brahmana, and later, by the mercy of the holy name and the spiritual master, he becomes qualified. The devotees in Sydney, however, were particularly immature, and Prabhupada made an extraordinary request of Radha Gopinath. Now I am leaving you in the hands of the Malechas. I cannot take the responsibility. You please guide these boys and girls and give them the intelligence to worship you very nicely. Calcutta, May 13, 1971. Prabhupada arrived just in time for the 10-day Calcutta Pandal festival. On his orders, Giriraj Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Maharaj had come to organize the festival, just as they had the one in Bombay. Prabhupada had written to Jayapataka Swami, president of ISKCON Calcutta. In the Sankirtan festival Pandal, if a very big kitchen arrangement can be made, then we shall distribute prasadam daily. Try to make this arrangement. Puri, halwa, khichdi, whatever can be arranged as much as possible. Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Giriraj Maharaj have all the ideas. Attendance surpassed that of the Bombay Pandal, with 20 to 30,000 people attending daily, including ministers of parliament and other distinguished speakers. It was one of the biggest religious functions Calcutta had ever seen. The whole city became aware of the strength of the Hare Krishna movement. In the early afternoon, the devotees would begin selling Prabhupada's books from a booth, performing kirtan on stage and distributing prasadam to the masses. Around 6:30, the evening program would begin with a long, intense kirtan, which would increase in its fervor as Prabhupada arrived for the evening aarti before the deities of Sri Radha and Sri Krishna. Prabhupada would lecture, sometimes in Bengali and sometimes in English. Afterward, the devotees would show slides of the Krishna consciousness movement around the world, and Prabhupada would answer questions from the audience. After the program, people would push forward to receive a morsel of the prasadam that had been offered to the deity. Naxalite terrorists threatened Prabhupada's life. These young communist terrorists, who had been active in Calcutta during Prabhupada's visit of 1970, had never disturbed him until now. Their tactic was to approach prominent businessmen in their homes or on the street and coerce them into cooperation with Naxalite political objectives. If a businessman refused, the Naxalites would burn his home or place of business or even assassinate him. The Naxalites, who were eager for all of Bengal to turn from their religious traditions and embrace communism, saw Prabhupada rekindling the religious spirit in Calcutta. Prabhupada's tremendous crowd-gathering pandal, they concluded, was undermining the principles of communism. Fly or die, read the note Prabhupada received. He informed the police, who regretted their inability to help. The whole of Calcutta, they said, was in terror of the Naxalites. Prabhupada, however, refused to be intimidated. He would not fly. Even if they were to attack him, he said, what better way for a Vaishnava to leave his body than while preaching the glories of the Lord? The next night, as Prabhupada came before the crowd to speak, he noticed a group of rowdy young men, Naxalites, near the stage. They were protesting the preferential seating of certain dignitaries on stage. When one young radical shouted that the radicals themselves wanted to dance on stage, the devotees invited them to join in a kirtana. The Naxalites backed down, but continued shouting and disrupting the meeting. They began banging the seats of the wooden folding chairs, calling out Naxalite slogans, and threatening to burn the place down. Others in the audience began talking nervously among themselves, increasing the commotion. In a vain attempt to bring order, some of the devotees threatened the dissenters. Pushing and scuffling broke out in the audience. Chintamani prakarasadmashu kalpavriksha lakshavrateshu surabhiravipalantam. Prabhupada's voice rang over the powerful loudspeaker system. Appearing uninterested in the crowd, depending only on Krishna, he began singing prayers from Brahma Samhita. And within minutes, everyone quieted. Those who wanted to leave left, and those who wanted to stay sat down. The crowd subdued. Prabhupada lectured. Several more fly-or-die notes came, and the Naxalites returned the next night, threatening again to burn the pandal. Call them, Prabhupada said. I will meet with them. The devotees thought it unsafe, but Prabhupada insisted. In a small room behind the pandal, Prabhupada spoke with the hostile youths. They were angry and disrespectful at first, but as Prabhupada explained to them the Vedic concept of communism, with Krishna at the center, he caught their interest. They agreed to allow Prabhupada's meetings to continue without any further disruptions. Achyutananda Swami. The last night of the 10-day Pandal program was the grand finale, with over 40,000 people attending. I had just stepped out to get sugarcane juice. The Pandal was completely packed when I left, but when I go outside, I saw rivers of people flowing through 4 main gates into the Pandal tent. I thought this must be Krishna's mystic power because the tent was already packed and still thousands of people were entering it. I thought that Krishna must be unlimitedly expanding the dimensions of space. The climax of the evening was a big procession, beginning at the Pandal and going up Park Street to the ISKCON temple on Albert Road. The deities of Radha Govinda rode on a palanquin to the temple, where they were placed on the altar. After an aarti in the temple, the remaining crowd dispersed. Achyutananda Swami was standing next to Prabhupada that night in the Calcutta temple. Prabhupada, he said, sometimes someone put Krishna's flute in backward. Prabhupada looked. It was backward. Krishna is all-powerful, he said, turning to Achyutananda Swami. He can play from the back end also. Srila Prabhupada was still striving for a plot of land in Mayapur. Having abandoned the idea that his god brothers in Mayapur might help, he had been working through Bengali friends in negotiating with Muslim farmers in Mayapur. On returning from Australia, Prabhupada had sent Tamal Krishna Maharaj to Mayapur with others not to come back until he had purchased land. Tamal Krishna's mission was successful, and after 6 days he returned to Prabhupada in Calcutta, having purchased 9 bighas, 3 acres in Mayapur. Conceiving the value of Mayapur was difficult for the devotees. However, One devotee journeyed from Calcutta to see the new ISKCON property and on returning asked Prabhupada, "What are we going to do there? It's just a big empty field. Nothing is there." "Because there are no factories and cars," Prabhupada replied. "Therefore, you think there is nothing to do? But we are going to chant Hare Krishna in Mayapur. We will build a big temple there, and all the devotees in the world can go out and chant Hare Krishna in the place of Lord Chaitanya's birth." On May 28th, Prabhupada wrote, "You will be glad to learn that we have purchased about 5 acres of land in Mayapur, the birth site of Lord Chaitanya, and we have proposed to hold a nice festival there from Janmashtami Day for 2 weeks. At that time, the foundation stone will be set down. I wish that all our leading disciples come to India at that time. There are 50 branches, so at least one from each branch should attend the function." June 1971. From for months, Prabhupada had been planning to visit Moscow. Aside from his desire to preach to the Russian people, he had a specific meeting in mind with the Russian Indology professor Gigi Kotovsky. Professor Kotovsky headed the Department of Indian and South Asian Studies at Moscow's USSR Academy of Sciences, and Prabhupada had been corresponding with him for a year. Krishna Das in West Germany, with the help of Dr. Bernhardt of the University of Hamburg, had obtained the names of other Russian scholars of Indology. A letter to Krishnadas in December of 1970 had revealed Prabhupada's plans for preaching in Russia. "I am very encouraged to see your enthusiasm for preaching this message to the Russian people, and your idea to send letters with the help of Dr. Bernhardt is very good. He is a big scholar and he also appreciates our movement. So, if you arrange a tour of Russia for me, I am prepared to accept. Let us see what Krishna desires. If we can go to Russia with our World Sankirtan party, I'm certain that it will be very much appreciated and people will see the real peace movement is the chanting process, chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." So try for it. Srila Prabhupada had coached Krishnadas on how to best cultivate the Russian Indologists. You can ask them some questions like, "What is the ultimate goal of life? What is your ideal ultimate goal of life? What is the difference between animal and human life? Why is religion accepted by all kinds of civilized societies? What is your conception of the original creation?" In this way, the questions may be put to find out what is their standing. We do not grudge an atheist, provided he has got some philosophical standing. In this way, try to elicit some answers from the professors. If you can finally establish one Moscow center, it will be a great credit to you. So far, studying Russian language, it is not necessary. But if you do so, it is all right. I want very much a center in Russia. So for the time being, I shall desire that Moscow center. Hare Krishna. Okay. So we'll pause here with Prabhupada continuing to expand his desires, just like Krishna is continuing to expand the dimensions of space in Calcutta as the Pandal program was expanding and devotees in thousands were coming. And we see again all kinds of disturbances are there. People are misguided, unfortunately, in this world, as those young youth were, and who became Naxalite terrorists kind of activities they were doing. But again, you see the power and potency of a pure devotee when he says, "I want to talk to them." Just by Prabhupada's darshan, one gets purified. Just by darshan of a pure devotee, one gets purified. What to speak of having a audience with him and hearing from him. And when Prabhupada spoke, as soon as he spoke, their hearts were cleansed and they understood that what real communism is. Real communism is, yes, to worship one God, Krishna, keeping him in the center of our lives. So the same message they were thinking of communism, but from an incorrect perspective. But when a pure devotee presents the same message from a different perspective, from a pure perspective, then the message becomes clear. So that is again the fallacy of this world and kind of unfortunate situation that we live in. And that's how we have to make sure that these youths, like Prabhupada is teaching again and again, that these boys, the young boys and girls, the youth are the future of not just our nation, our world, but the future of our Vedic civilization. So it is important that we teach them right from their early childhood on what is bhakti, what is our Vedic culture. Okay, wonderful. All right, so that will pause here. Anybody else would like to share any of your thoughts, reflections, anything that you liked from today's reading? Yes, anybody? Mataji's, Prabhuji's? No?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna everyone.
Krishna, yes.
I was just thinking as Krishna is inconceivable, same as Krishna's pure devotees like Prabhupada, his activities are so inconceivable. What he can do, nobody else can do it. Far and wide. If I get distracted just for like half a minute in the reading, Prabhupada is somewhere other in the other side of the world. So I was like, oh my God, Prabhupada is, he was traveling like speed of jet. And also another very beautiful line from today's reading, which touched my heart, was the one who is studying and sharing the message of Gita, one who is helping others learn Gita is very dear to me. So we always read that distributing books is very dear to Prabhupada, but at the same time reading those books and getting the essence of it and applying it to our lives is also very, very important aspect of bhakti and very, very dear to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Yes, yeah, we had a wonderful book distribution yesterday at Seven Hills School, where our little kids also performed the same dance that they did on Janmashtami at the center, and it was good opportunity for us to present the teachings of our Sanatan Dharma. So it was good that they were able to get some devotional credit out of all the audience who had come to observe Indian Independence Day cultural activities at ICA event. They were able to be associated with Srila Prabhupada's movement, ISKCON Cincinnati, through the books and through the presentation of our little kids. So thank you to all our wonderful teachers who are enabling this next generation as Srila Prabhupada desired here. And he's continuing to show us how he did that when he was in Sydney. And yeah, like you said, yeah, it is important for us to perfect our lives. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Jivan sarthak kari kar paropkar. Right? So we have to do our Jivan also, we have to do sarthak before we get on the big mission, bold mission to do paropkar. And that is as simple as following the process like Prabhupada said every day. Just chanting, hearing, reading, following the four regulative principles, which is our everyday vow that we have taken. If we do that sincerely, then we are following our Jivan Sarthak, and then with that we are able to go out, or we are able to share this mission of Srila Prabhupada with everybody. So it's as simple as that. Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody else would like to share anything? All right. If not, then we'll pause here for today. Thank you so much for your kind association. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद लीलामृत की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। everybody.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.